can you please accept the invitation? Can you please accept the invitation?
Hi, Akshay.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. So, hello everyone. My voice is clear?
Yes, very clear. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. So, hello everyone, this is Akshay Sharma, and today we are going to discuss about literature and few more topics related to the medical field, as we have the doctor herself. So, yeah, please, you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Very good evening, Akshay. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, I'm well. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank you very much for calling me today. Nice Saturday evening. You spared some time
Thank
for me.
Thank
I'm
you so much.
I'm Dr. Anitha Chakravarthy I. I'm a practicing pathologist in Coimbatore. I'm also an author by passion and profession. I write more so on Hindu mythology with the relevance to the modern society so that the younger generation of young men and women can also contemplate and understand what they really mean and why it is so essential. Um, I also have a website of my own called anithachakravarthyshriram.com, and very regularly I write short articles, say within 1,000 words, so that people can read within 2 to 3 minutes, which has nowadays become the norm of the day. Everybody has only 2 to 3 minutes of reading time, so I ensure that I try to pass my message with some story from the mythology and how it can be related to day-to-day life. I have authored a book called Jaya Vijay Bharata, which is my first book, and in that book, I have wholesome gone into mythology, describing 11 characters from the epics, lesser known characters, of course. And the second book is Branches Facing the Earth. Again, that book is a contrast to my first book, where I have enlisted 10 short stories of paranormal activity, some of which I've heard from people. And of course, there's a little narrative element to it as well. I also got an opportunity to work on a third book project called Upavana Vinoda with the Sanskrit Society in Karnataka. And I became one of the editorial in the team, and I was given a chance to edit about 5 to 6 chapters, and that was a wonderful opportunity that I had. And that book was briefly on horticulture in India. And also, there's an anthology that I was a part of in a book called Book of Love that was more of a romantic genre. And that apart, my everyday activity is I tend to read. I like to write whatever I feel. And I feel listening to Ramakrishna stories or even reading about it is as important as my everyday meal. That's
That's
about
amazing.
me. Yeah.
That's a very short brief. It's very amazing. So I just wanted to know, how did your first book do? Like, can you please share about your first book? Because it is based on mythology, and am I audible?
Yes, 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 you are.
Yeah. So it's based on mythology, and since our today's topic is relevant to mythology and specifically into the Hindu tradition, because you have been much more aligned to that tradition, and it also I read few of your short bios, and it was written that you have taken a lot of time in writing Jaya Vijaya Bharata. So could you please just elaborate that in a few lines itself?
See, let me start with this. I never thought I would get into writing ever in my life, right from the beginning of my life, because English was not very, very easy for me at the initial phase of my life. I used to struggle, especially during my school days. But it was my grandfather who became my guru or an acharya in English, and that's how I picked it up. So even during those days, I basically didn't realize that I would go right up till book writing. I thought my English would end with just letter writing, writing a medical letter or leave letter or sort of things like that. But I never thought it would go beyond that. What I did not realize back then was that probably I was already having a very good foundation because of that continuous learning. um, when did I actually realize that okay, I could write something was when I started reading more and more and more and more. So that's how, and slowly I started picking up oratory skills, talking to myself or talking in front of the mirror. So that's how the language started improving, and that hang of writing also started picking up. So it started towards the end of school days, maybe during college days, but that was just some silly things that I would write, not any sort of a serious writing. But I think that all that, formed a foundation which I was not realizing back then. But those have contributed very significantly to this. My interest in mythology also goes back to my younger days. So when I was a child, because see, in any Indian, traditional Indian household, all our childhood is built on Rama as the hero, Krishna as the hero. So that is not new. So whenever you sleep, all your night stories are comprising of only them because you grow up with grandparents. Fortunately, I grew up with grandparents, which is not the case scenario for many children these days. So that's how it actually began. I realized that because of such kind of a foundation, I had more interest towards my towards Hindu dharma, and I started reading more about it, started talking to many teachers about it, some of the scholars. Fortunately, I had a lot of opportunity to interact with many scholars during my uh, uh, college days, and they put in a lot of insight into me how to go about it. So that basis of an acharya or a teacher was there for me always. Plus my school, I studied in a very traditional school, which also contributed very significantly that it's very important that you stick to your roots wherever you go or whatever you
Yeah.
do. You can do whatever you want, but in a right way. So that was something that it aligned. So all of this came together to what became Jaya Vijaya Bharata.
That's amazing. And how do you
Sorry,
manage? Am I audible now?
I could not. Yeah, yeah, now you are.
Yeah. So how about your medical field? Because you're a doctor and you must be busy all the time, and even then you write it, and you have written two books already. So if you can just say a brief thing, like brief description, like how do you manage writing? Because telling people about writing books is very important, because it is as important as telling people to read books. So because from Mark-Fly, we only encourage people to read and write more. So because there are many people in many segments, many sectors, and they wish to write, but they don't write. So that is the reason, that is the main purpose of me taking interviews from all the authors and even from cinema people, that those who have followed their dreams. And this is just a medium to let them know that writing is important by taking your time from your busiest schedule. Because you're a doctor, and I don't think anybody is as busy as doctors today. So please share about that.
I write almost every day. It's not a lie, but I try to write at least 50 to 100 words every day. Morning hours are extremely busy at workplace, but when I come back home in the evening, it either goes with writing or with reading. But you have to push yourself. See, there is always something called an external and an internal motivation. So everybody has this external motivation where somebody can tell you that this is do this or do that. Okay, we get inspired for a day or two, and then after that it just wanes down. But that's not how it should go. You should have something from within yourself to keep continuously pushing you to say no, you have to do it because this is what you like to do. And apart from work, that stress of work, the kind of difficult situations that you face every day at the workplace, in order to forget all that, you need some kind of a venting out. Venting out will not always be like, talking about the same issue again and again. That venting out will not help you at all. You have to vent it out in a totally different manner. So for me, that venting out is writing and reading again. That's why I tell many of my students that you're all in a tough field called medicine where you have to read everything. But what is very important is you should have a hobby. That hobby can be anything. It could be an artwork, it could be a sport, it could be any other acting or drama or anything. But you must have a hobby because how else do you vent out anything? And don't keep saying you don't have the time. God has made sure He gives 24 hours to you, to a billionaire, to a millionaire, to anybody else. So you cannot say, I don't have the time. You have to make the time, right? We waste our time in so many ways, but you have to ensure that you get that internal motivation to do things of your own. Otherwise, you
When you were
continue to keep complaining.
when you were saying this, I just took it in my way that my hobby itself is my profession now.
That very few people get that. That way, you
It
are
is
lucky.
okay. I don't know whether I'm lucky, but it's a journey. But yeah, that is
Yes,
nice. And also, could you please share me about your medical field because people would want to know that what you do as a doctor and what you're specialized at. Because being an author and doctor is like there are many, but I haven't known a lot many. So can you please share that?
definitely. I'm more at working at the tissue level. I'm a pathologist where we work at the cellular and the tissue level. In fact, we are the people who actually tell you that you have a cancer, although the report is said by another clinical, by a consultant that you are meeting. But the cellular and the background work is mostly performed by a pathologist who actually conveys to them that your cell is not looking normal. Actually, I want to tell you one thing. This medical field has changed my perspective about life to such a great extent is because whenever we see the activity of a cell at that particular level or the tissue at that particular level, it really, really mesmerizes you because we would have probably seen this patient with a carcinoma a year ago and we would have written that this patient has such and such a cancer. And then we would have let the report out and the patient undergoes medication and several other treatment. And when they actually come back and they send us some tissue, if at all, again, there'll be there'll be it'll look as if there is no cancer at all in that. When you see the previous 1 year ago to this, you will actually see what a marvelous change am I seeing. You can science can say a million things like medicine has helped us or anything. Yes, of course, medicine plays a bigger degree, but there is something called healing that has to occur at the cellular or the tissue level. That healing, you as a doctor or you as a human being, you are not doing that, but something else within the body is doing. And what is that? We really don't know still. We only see that it's healing. This cancer cell has become normal. That cell has disappeared. But how? What really happened? But this is not the case scenario with all the patients. Some patients show such miraculous cure and some don't even show any kind of a change. Why? Isn't the healing the same process that has to happen here? Isn't the same process that has to happen here? Why didn't it occur? So, this kind of a miraculous thing is what you will begin to think very, very deep within yourself that there is something that is controlling the entire event and it's not you. So, this is exactly what I have learned, and the my field has pushed me to realize that I am just a mere speck or I'm just a ladle, but there is somebody else holding this ladle. So that keeps me thinking and pondering always about what is that is there. And that is what we call as God or supreme being or a supernatural power or whatever it is. So all of these keep inspiring me day to day to write about these kind of articles.
That's amazing. And can you please share me about your second book, like what it is about?
Branches Facing the Earth was completely contrast. It was about paranormal, where I wrote 10 stories. See, we always have these old elders who keep telling us that, they were living in the village and they had to go to the pond to collect water and they saw apparitions and things like that. So these stories came out of that. So these are 10 stories which are only to do with the paranormal. Of course, it's not scary. You will not get the boo-hoo of any kind of a horror story or anything. It's more humorous. It has a humorous touch. Or
Oh,
you can also say that there is some kind of a thing that even after death, they would like to talk to you or say something to you nice. They come back to say something to you nice, not anything to demean you or scare you or anything. A positive note again.
yeah, we even now, like next month, we'll be releasing one comic book, which is also authored by a doctor from Lucknow, something. And I see
Okay.
that a lot of doctors are coming up with different comic books and some funny stories. I think that is their like free time to think about it and add some to ease out. I think they'll be having a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
stress.
Yes, yes, to vent out. Otherwise, the stress can actually take a very big toll on you because you're continuously doing so many things. You're preoccupied. You're always seemingly having a very busy day, but you have to really come out of it, do something else. Otherwise, it keeps you very mundane and monotonous.
Yes, yes, I've seen it was good. And any of your books are coming, like any of the third book or fourth book, something like that.
Yeah, yes, yes, I am. I am. I think in another month or two, the process is going on. Again, that is on mythology. I'm going back to my roots, shifting back to my roots. I think November, it's expected. So let it be a surprise.
So,
Sorry.
so mythology, yeah, it is better to stick to the roots for a time and then put back again to some other genre and again come back. So this is how
Yes,
the literature industry works. And
yes.
yeah, you can ask any other questions like from Mark-Fly, whatever you feel like that. Also, we can discuss over here.
So how is your work going on? What is your next upcoming?
Yeah, my work is Mark-Fly only. We are
Hmm.
we are just publishing books now. Like two more books are yet to release, and we are only giving concentration on that particular books. And apart from that, my writing is going on. I am working on my third book now,
Okay,
so
okay,
that probably I have decided to release on November or December this year
yeah,
itself. So waiting for that time, or maybe next year. I don't know, but we just plan and depends on how the writing process goes. And apart from that, only publishing and making music also. So that also will be coming out.
okay. The movies of yours.
Movies, yeah. One of the movie is yet to release and also releasing like by this year end. If not, I don't know when it is releasing, but that updates will be given. But apart from that, my own artistic things, I'm sticking to music as well. So I'm planning to release another music album, and
Okay,
I'm practicing a lot. So that is also going on.
that's nice. You're keeping yourself really busy. You're more into doing this than me. I'm focusing on my career as well as doing this, but it's very, very time consuming that way. But at least I'm very happy that you're able to get more time to do what you really like.
No, in this field, it is like you have to do many things only then because the first thing is that we need to survive because when we are taking passion as profession, and first thing is that how do you survive? So for the survival things, you have to follow where you can make income, and after that you have to do five more things. Then in that five more things, you have to follow which passion to choose. So n number of things we have to do, and finally, uh, it comes naturally after a very long time, like 7 years, 10 years. But patience is important. Even
Correct.
right now, I'm having my keyboard over here. That's mouth organ.
Yes. Okay. So your weekends go with this, or how do you spend your weekends?
For me, like there's nothing like weekends and all. Like all the days are like same Sundays. And anytime, like if I feel like playing music, then I just sit and play. I play music like almost every week. I don't miss music. I don't post much. I only post like once in 2 or 3 months, but I play regularly. Music does not leave me. That is one thing. And apart from that, writing is like one book I take 3 years to write, so that is very long time. But now this third book, it's not that long. In just 3 to 4 months, it'll get over and it'll be releasing. So this is how the writing process is and music making is. And apart from that, films, I've been out from the film for the past 1.5 years because the previous film hasn't released yet. So only once it releases, then I can again think back. Uh, think again going back to that place again. That's how things are.
This
That's how
is actually a
artistic.
really initiative that you've taken to bring authors together. I think you should bring it on a larger forum. This one is really nice. You're bringing us on individual forums. I think sometime you should plan to bring everybody together so that you can we can have a larger literary forum, which can actually encourage more number of people to read more books. Nowadays, it's become a habit. Everybody is very much addicted to only the screen. So how to make them really come out is very difficult. Many a time, wherever I go, they say, "How do you inculcate that reading habit?" I always say that it should come from within, really from within, and how your family environment really is. If everybody is sitting with a screen or everybody is watching TV, then what do you expect from the child? You, they'll definitely take that right as the initial thing. So I think it should come from one generation before, and then that's how it can go. That's what I keep telling everybody, that, and you have to enforce that within yourself. You must say, I'll do this, I'll do this. So that's why, I see many students, because we teach also. So I see many students, they cannot focus beyond 40 minutes, not even 40. Tell me, 10 minutes. Some of them can't even sit for 5 minutes in class. They're so restless. They start taking out their phones, start scrolling up and down. So this is the scenario that's happening. Social media should have been more of a utility, but the generosity of utility has extended beyond leaps and bounds now.
Yes, yes. Even I have noticed that because in recently I've been to a lot of colleges and universities. They either invite me as an entrepreneur or film actor. They, after that, they put my name as author, but they don't know first it should be an author. But that's how it is. And even when I talk to students and any students over there, they just say, I just ask them how many people read books. Like hardly one or two people raise their hand. That's it. This is the
Correct.
scenario of reading. And in literature industry, as you know, that entire India, we only have a limited literature circle, and we are only connected with generally from Delhi or anywhere.
Correct. Correct.
So all the literature circles are like that only. But hopefully, the time will come that shows because now only readers come to know about us authors, and other than that, nobody else know about us. So that is
Correct.
one
Correct. Correct. We have a very
drawback.
short, small circle now that we are.
Yeah, so what I'm planning is like that is the reason I've been connected to cinema, and cinema people also help me not only for me as an author, but I've been trying to make this kind of videos and make this interview so that you all you all come to know that from Mark-Fly we have been projecting you as an author, and it is getting spreaded across cinema as well. So this is one motive from Mark-Fly we are doing. So at least authors are also known, and
Yes.
yeah, because and we'll be doing a lot of things in near future, or maybe after 1 or 2 years, like literature festival. We tried doing it this year, or I think this year is not possible. Maybe next year we can bring a lot of authors across India, to Coimbatore or any other city, whichever we get it. So that is also in process, but it will take a longer time.
Yeah, it will take a longer time. Yes, getting everybody to under one roof is always a difficult thing because they're not only spread across India, but there are people outside as well. So in that case, it becomes a little difficult. Yes. Mm.
Yeah,
Apart
so that is
from
what.
that,
Apart from that, only that cinema and literature, that once if we collaborate something like that, any event is happening, something like that, then what happens here is that authors can also visit the event where cinema people will be attending. So this is one big project we are thinking, but it might take 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, but I'm okay with it because this is a very big project what I am thinking. And in this, many authors will get benefited as they will interact with these cinema people, and cinema people also may get some benefit, like if they come to know about some authors. It is obviously good that writing should flourish. That is what from Fly we aim at. So hopefully this should come. Maybe we can manifest today. It can take it can take 1 or 2 years or 3 years to do this cinema and literature together.
correct, correct. That is acceptable. So then this is a very big project. I'm not sure how to make it work, but I would tell you one thing that I've always seen that over the years of writing, I've only evolved to realize that it may not be a very flourishing business, but it gives you a certain kind of goodness or a warmth.
Yeah.
So that kind of a happiness I've really not seen with anything else. But when I write or when somebody reads it, appreciates it, and they feel motivated and inspired, and they say, "Wow, your writing is very so nice, and I'm so inspired by it." I think that's a reward in itself. Than to look at it from a very businessy perspective, I've always felt most of my writing, when two or three people together say that, "Wow, it was really nice to read," I feel that's a reward in itself. That somebody is reading. But the most unfortunate part that our word count has come down to 1,000 on a day-to-day basis of article. So I'm so watchful and vigilant about keeping up that 1,000 words. So it ends at 980 words or 985 words. So that is also quite difficult to compile. But now I'm quite habituated to that.
Yeah, sticking to that particular thing, because as you told, the habitual is like normal now, but that's okay. Like things can become better, I feel so. And apart from that, sorry, what I couldn't hear you the last thing what you told.
No, I said I've become very habituated with my website
Uh,
of writing less than just 1,000 words with every article. So it's become very crisp and very, very short. At least that should reach greater number of audience is what I'm
so
really
yeah,
feeling now.
so that what I'm saying is that you have to keep posting on a weekly basis on your social media platform, and
Yes,
you have to share that link to your circle through WhatsApp and something else, so that let them read it. So once that reading habit starts, no, then books will automatically get into more sales.
right.
And this is one point which is very particular. I've seen many authors, they write books and release not only with our publishing house, with many other publishing houses as well. And
Your
even the
voice is
first time,
cut.
one second, am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. So I was saying that many authors, like first time authors generally, they just look after the sales, uh, because for them it is purely, not purely business, but there are many authors as well like that. But I would say that sales are important, but at first you have to gather a lot of readers. Even if it takes 2 to 3 years or 4 years, 5 years, you have to keep distributing your books through giveaways or through any other events. And after that, only people trust your work, and then they buy your second or third book. That's how for my books happened, because in the first stage, Flying Dreams, like first few months, nobody bought it. So it was all about giveaways and doing contests and giving the winners and all. Then people started reading, and then only the sales eventually grew. But today, people are only into business mind. But in book industry, we cannot think about making money that easily. It's not a money making business now.
Good point. It's not at all. It's only that you are fulfilling your passion.
Yes.
It's not an overnight success. Over the years of my writing, I have realized very clearly that writing will not get fetch you an overnight success. Don't even dream about it. Probably you may even see some kind of a recognition for you posthumous. Even that can happen. But I have really felt that, uh, it's not an overnight success. It's not like the cinema field where, in 24 hours you get a limelight or anything.
There's a message from Khayal Patel. Reading is a dying art.
True, true. But it's dying. Hope it's not dead.
Yeah, because readers have become less, authors are more now, and promotions and generally this publishing houses also have grown. Everybody has a publishing house now. So business in business perspective they are growing, but in reading
Yes,
perspective it has totally gone down. And
yes.
I just suggest people who whoever are into this writing, they should have some other work as well. Only then, but even then they have to write, they have to struggle a lot to grow in this particular field. And my journey, I think everybody knows what I have done and how tough it was, because completely taking writing as a full-time thing, it was very difficult initially. And now since I'm into four to five things, then we can manage it otherwise. So that is how things are. But writing is totally he said, reading is a dying art now.
Correct, correct. But there is still some readers. It's not like it's completely gone out of focus or anything. But there are people who are actually taking it more seriously. There is a group that actually reads. There's a group that doesn't want to read. There's another group that never makes an attempt to read. So it's categorically that way. So it's nice when the reading category of people actually say your work is good, then it makes you feel very good. That's how I look at it. Otherwise, you hopelessly feel negative about it. So there should be some reason to stay positive. So at least target the audience who are really interested in reading rather than targeting those who don't and who don't make an attempt.
Yes, yes, that is absolutely correct, because and there are many readers now. They only look after motivation books and self-help books, and which gives financial improvement and development. So these kind of books, because recently I visited a lot of bookstores just to know
You know what
what
the
readers.
best self-help book that when you talk about this self-help book and all that, I'll tell you from a mythological perspective what self-help books and all can really work out in. See, when everybody knows when Gitopadesha happens to Arjuna, Krishna chooses the war field. See, it was very easy for Krishna to actually, he could have chosen Yudhishthira because Yudhishthira is Dharmaraja and he'll listen to whatever Krishna says, there's no cross question. He could have preached it to Bhima. Bhima would have just been a very delicate child, disciplined child. Listen, Nakula Sahadeva, the best stepbrothers anybody could get, but Krishna doesn't do any of it. He chooses the most confused, a man with self doubt, a 20th century man, whom he felt Arjuna is ideal, whom he knew Arjuna will still have lot of doubts even after I tell him whatever it is. So he chooses Arjuna for the reason that he wanted Gita to live not only in Dwapar Yuga, but even during Kali Yuga and even after that. Because Arjuna is one 20th century modern man who lives with self doubt, who has lost conscience, and who is in a chaotic state. So that is exactly what our life is. Every day in this puzzle of life, we are always in a conflict between our minds, right? So Krishna ensures that I cannot keep appearing to you. I was there for Arjuna like a Saka or a friend. But in Kali Yuga, I may not be there physically present, but I will leave behind something that will be there forever. So whenever you have a self doubt, go back, open it, read it, understand. You will definitely find help from that. So, in my purview, that is one of the best self help books that one can read. Many say that, this is after 60 or after my retirement because I don't have the time to read. No, no, you are completely wrong. You wasted your entire life. You need this when you are in a stressful moment. You need this to make your life correct. You need this to lead yourself in a rightful manner. So you have left reading it when you really needed it. Now, after 60 or after 50, when you feel, okay, now I have all the time in the world, there's no use to go back to correct what you have done. So it's very important and essential that you bring it up in the very, very initial phase of your life. So always, I want to tell all the youngsters one thing, that whenever this Indian civilization has been at crossroads, it is our dharma that has come to the rescue, that has come to our protection. See, India was a country which was under the British rule, but in 1893, in September, there was one man in Kavi who broke that concept that this is not a slave nation. Look back at us. And who was that? That was Vivekananda. And what helped him? It was the Upanishads, the Vedas, which is the prime essential of Hindu philosophy, is Vedas. So his knowledge of the Vedas, his knowledge of the Upanishads is what brought back the entire world's perspective towards India. So that was again our dharma that saved us when our civilization was at crossroads. Very similarly, when Gandhi was in confusion, it was Gita that came to help. When Savarkar didn't know what to do, it was Gita that came to help. When Ghosh didn't know what to do, it was Gita that came to help. So there are several people, even Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, who mentions a special anecdote about Gita. All of these people who faced a chaos, a confusion in their life, Oppenheimer, if you have seen the movie, he too opened the Bhagavad Gita for answers. So, what I'm trying to say is, Krishna said this. This book is for modern civilization. You are all going to be in a chaotic state. You are going to be in confusion every single day. I cannot keep coming and helping, so I am leaving this behind. And whom did I preach this to? To Arjuna, whose mindset is very, very similar to what you are going to be in Kali Yuga. So this is very essential that our children, our younger people should know that, it's not going forward towards the Western narratives. Our country's philosophy has prophesized others. It has brought other people to look back at us. So why don't we open up our own books, our own texts, and start knowing what we are? So you have to break that barrier and go back to your roots. That's what I keep telling everybody.
That is amazingly described, and
Yes.
it tells all the entire thing about the Bhagavad Gita, because I was not that religious, not religious. I was not that into the Bhagavad Gita and all, but recently, like it's been like 4 to 5 years, I can say that I've totally come into the religious point of view, and I've read the few anecdotes of Bhagavad Gita, and I've visited ISKCON temple a lot, and I've made some of them as my guru, and they have taught me the life lesson. And only after that, my life drastically changed, because I've taken those life lessons and applied in my life as an application to it, and that really helped me. Like when biggies can say that, that they have taken that life lessons and put into the movie of Oppenheimer and all, then even I gave it a try, and it really helped me. And even in my second book, Writer on a Mission, because it's about Astaravan, so I did read Bhagavad Gita and about Krishna and everything, and that really helped me to give a few points into the book, because that was a new thing for me. That particular book took me like around 3.5 years to write. Not like regular writing. I was also looking after business and also, but yeah, it was very long journey, 3.5 years, and before that, 1 year of just story plotting and everything. So that's how Bhagavad Gita has really helped me, and I'm very thankful to all those who recommended me to read, because uh, you are not into that traditional thing initially, and then finally, when we come into the Hindu tradition, being a Hindu, we are not totally traditional traditional guy, but now things have changed and we have understood that we have to follow our religion uh, with good thoughts. That is also one thing. Like me, there are many, there were many, but now many have changed as well. So that is one good thing.
See, why it makes you mesmerized, feel so mesmerized is in the 18th chapter, no, Krishna goes on to say that, Arjuna, I've told you so many things. Okay, I have preached so many things to you, but it's very important that you go back. He uses a word called vimarshyate iti. That means in Sanskrit, it means you go back, you contemplate it, you think, you practice it, see if this works for you, then you do it. So this kind of a freedom that Krishna gives to his own devotee or his friend Arjuna is what beats the entire essence of our dharma. I am telling you straightforward that there can be no other dharma in this world which can talk like this, giving you so much of freedom, saying, go, I have, so what, I am the supreme lord, I am saying it, but why don't you go contemplate it? You do it yourself. You learn it yourself. You see if you can apply it into your life. And then you tell me, yes, I can apply it. Yes, you are right. You tell me. Which other dharma has ever given this much freedom? You tell me. I can challenge you. It is only ours. Every other dharma sticks on to something called a faith and belief, and you believe that. But ours, the Lord Himself has said, go ahead. Vimarshyate iti. Go contemplate. Go think. Go do it. The rishis of our country have given a very beautiful dialogue saying that, see, we've practiced this particular sadhana and it has worked. And many of us have practiced it and it has worked for us. What we are telling you is take up this experiment. You do it, find an inference to it, and you come with the answer. If it doesn't work for you, and again we try and doesn't work for us, we agree that our entire thing is wrong. But if it works for you, then you see what to do next. So this kind of a beautiful explanation cannot be given by anybody else except our dharma. This is why we are so unique, we are so different, we are so tolerant to everything. That is why probably Swami Vivekananda, in his World Parliament of Religions, he actually, the applause was not only for the brothers and sisters. He says, I am from a religion which practices tolerance, and I am from a nation which provided refuge, which gave shelter to the refugees and the homeless. So these were the two lines that particularly attracted the West, and that is why the applause was for. That is what upheld him. So the Dharma again went up to saving him. There was actually an account that I read in one of the books where one of Swami's disciples actually asked him, what did you bring back from the West, Swami? So he said, I did not go to the West to bring back anything. I went there to give my spiritual diversity, my country's spiritual diversity. But unfortunately, what I noticed is, I thought we were we were living a very miserable life, but theirs is way worse than ours. That is what he says, right? So that can be told only from the brain of a very confident human being. So that is him. And the other thing that our Dharma says is very clearly that you can also become God. Although you are human, you can become God. You can become equal to me. That is what is a representation by Vivekananda, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, so on and so forth. We are still looking up to them, not only as gurus, but also as gods. That is the beauty of our land. That is the beauty of our dharma. Where do I go, you tell me, leaving all of this concept and go or, listen to some other diversity? How can I leave this? This is so beautiful. This is what is my life. This is the way I am living. This is what it is teaching me. This is the way it's telling me, you live your life like this. Where do I go? You tell me, leaving all of this. That is why I love it. That's why I love writing about it. That's why I love people reading about it. And I want them to read it because the kind of happiness and joy that you get by reading this, because your roots are so strong. My God, this is what your ancestry is. This is what your rishis have said. My God, look at them. They are so brilliant. This is my root. So I feel proud about it. So why shouldn't I speak about it? Or why shouldn't I write about it? What scares me not to speak or write about it? So that is the kind of mentality I have developed over the years of writing this, reading this, and things.
That's amazing because you have described it beautifully, and it all came from your soul actually. So I could even analyze things, what you're going through and what you have been through. It's really good that you have told it, because I feel and also our dharma says uh, we we were the first one to say we are secular. So it is not that we preach and we say that no, we are only this dharma, we have to follow that. Nothing like that. It is Sanatan Dharma itself means secular dharma, and that is what I have learned, because I am not very good someone who can say all about this. I am into different genre, but yeah, I have also read it, and I keep reading a lot on this particular topic. But it's good that you're saying, because you're specialized into this, and I read because it eases out, and just to stress out and to know about our culture, our dharma. That is the reason I read a lot, special from Bhagavad Gita and the Krishna saying. I've got two more books from ISKCON. ISKCON is like my next door now, and I keep visiting ISKCON temple. Either it is in Bangalore or in Coimbatore. So they invite me for all their festivities, and they made me understand my religion. As I told you, you can even call me, you can even say me that I was an atheist back then, like some 10 years before. But before that, I was very much into tradition and Hindu culture. But I don't know, something happened, and I was not into doing puja. I was not into that. But now things have changed. I've understood what our Hindu culture is, and since 5 to 6 years, I've been totally into this. Like Virat Kohli, you would have seen, right? There was a video coming that do I look like a puja part type, but after that, it's totally transition. That's how things are, because when we go deep down and when we face the downfall, we, because only God is there, and other than that, there's no one. Your parents and your closer ones, and only God. Other than that, I don't think there are anyone else supporting you or thinking good about you. You can only share to God. Also, I've learned this from ISKCON. I keep repeatedly saying ISKCON because that is that has given me a new life. Uh, because if you see any artist life, because I'm living an artistic life only. So for us, there's no support other than God. We have to keep thinking, and when we go into depression, we only go to the temple, and we can just talk to God, because we cannot beg to people. It is better to beg to God. So that is one thing I've learned, because I've been connected with many actors from Tamil cinema, and all those struggling actors, not the big actors and all. Actors, they have done a lot of movies. All the big movies they have done with Ajit Kumar, Ajit superstar and all. And those actors are now with no works. Okay, so what they do is, like, they go and sit inside the temple, Tiruvannamalai. You know Tiruvannamalai, right? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's in Tamil Nadu only. So there are many my friends, they one particular actor, I would say, he often goes and sits in the temple. He just talks to God, and he also gave me motivation that you have to become more religious when you are into an artistic field, because there will be no one to even think about you, no one to even know your pain. So that is when you connect with God, and that is how I got connected to Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. That's it. This is how I've got a new life after being connected to God. Before that, I was an atheist, and I'm honestly saying that that was one bad thing.
Okay. That's a very big change. See, that's what I always say, no? We meet a lot of people in our life. The first category of people that we meet, there is one category of people you meet. They keep nagging, keep complaining. They're so full of complaints in their life. When they open their mouth, you'll only keep listening to a lot of complaints, lot of nagging. There's so much sadness and sorrowful life that they're leading. It makes you feel, no, eventually I don't even want to be around them. There's one more category, if you see, they are kind of people who speak to us. It's nice to speak to them for a few minutes, then you can disperse. There's one group of people, they really inspire you within 50 seconds, 30 seconds, okay, and they just leave the place. That is enough. Okay, there is only one the last category of people who really inspire us, or whom we should feel inspired about, is this category. They are like the incense sticks. So you place this instant incense stick in the corner of your room, this entire room elevates with such beautiful fragrance. So I always feel we should associate ourselves with such kind of people. Very, very important, very difficult to get those people, but they are the only ones who have the capacity to ensure that the entire room is lit with positivity. So always go behind these kind of people. Spend few quarters of the moments of your life with them. That is more than enough. They'll inspire you for the rest of your life. You don't need anything beyond that. So whom you associate with, what we call in Sanskrit is satsanga, that is to be in the company of good, is also very, very important. So I always advise that, don't keep going behind these petty illusionary accomplishments. It will give you a momentary happiness, but that's not important. Always look for people who are like the incense sticks. They're in one corner. You won't even know they exist. They're there somewhere. You can't even see them. They're not in your purview at all. But they ensure that the entire atmosphere is lighted. So we need people like this. So those are the people who are very, very stable. And why are they stable? Because they know what their roots are. Because as you become an avid reader of our Dharma, right, it makes you feel that you are nothing. Every moment it makes you feel that you are nothing. It's not demeaning you or anything like that. It just means that ultimately, whatever you are going to get now, you remember one day you're going to let go of it. So it keeps telling you again and again that, remember, so you be grounded, so you be rooted. That's what it continuously keeps telling. Because remember, you're going to let go of all of this and you're going to come to me one day. So I am your judge. So don't be afraid of anybody else. Be afraid of only me, because ultimately, when you come up there, I am the judge. Here, anybody can say anything good about you, negative about you. The person who says good about you will also speak 10 negative about you. So don't allow them to judge you, or don't take it seriously into your mind. If you feel what you have done is correct, and you are scared of your conscience where I live in, then don't bother about anything. So this is something that essentially one has to always remember. Otherwise, you keep putting the burdens of your life and your complex problems into your mind, right? You'll go haywire. That's not acceptable.
Yes, yes. This is one thing which I have also understood from the learnings of the God and what Krishna is saying, and it has really helped me and many people. Like they also say, there are things uh, like do not take things very personally. Let it happen when it has to happen, and then expectation should be less. And Krishna always says that that just do your work and let the result come when it has to come. So that is also one thing I've applied in my life, and it really worked. And I'm not saying just like that. Whatever things has been said, I've applied that all in my life, and 90% my voice is very low. He's saying, so I'll just. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, because I am wearing the Bluetooth. So
There's one message. Sheru. She calls me Sheru. आवाज आवाज आ रही है क्या बताओ? He's my friend actually, Gaurav.
oh, okay, okay,
He's in Mumbai.
okay.
So he has come to view this. Yes, now audible, he says. Okay. So I forgot. You please continue. I again forgot.
You were saying?
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
So that's what I keep telling most of the people, and whenever I get some time, that don't keep complaining.
Yeah.
Some suitable solution will definitely be there. You have to go behind it. It'll take a little time, maybe, but you go and find it. There's no point, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. You can't keep having that all going into your mind. it has to come out. You have to find some solution. Sometimes silence works the best,
Yes,
really,
yes, that is true. That is
because
true.
it makes you feel that your wisdom will get more enhanced. So I tell, if you are in deep trouble, just keep silent. We'll see. It'll come to you. Solution will come to you.
So I just want to say it in this video because this video will be played later back because
Yeah.
I'll be cutting and editing it. I just want to say that if you are to all the people, like if you are really into religious point of view, you have to any religion. It's not like we are talking about Hindu religion or whatever. Every religion is similar, and we have to respect each other because that is one thing. And what we are facing now is that religious drawbacks that if so and so religion point of view comes, then people fight based on that. That shouldn't be happening. And I feel that everybody has to be equal. And apart from that, language barriers. There are many problems happening due to the language barriers. And I feel that everybody should be equal and everybody should be same. And everybody should be treated based on how they interact and how kind they are. Kindness should be the only thing to be judged, and not to be that judgmental as well. But kindness should be really appreciated, and if that is allowed, then things can really be helpful because as you see, many states and people only judge you based on whether you're a North Indian, South Indian, this Indian, that Indian, then this religion, that religion. So these things are very common, and that has to stop someday. And that is the reason I keep going to the political gatherings and all to put this point to them. And I've been to some 3 to 4 political gatherings, and I've met a lot of leaders as well. And next time when I meet, I will put this particular topic to them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they also talk on this basis, and release our problems what we are facing. So my friend who is in Mumbai, even he belongs from Coimbatore only. He's settled in Mumbai. He's viewing this. He understands what I'm talking about. So that is the pain we face here, but that's okay. That's the reason I do a lot of things for my city, Coimbatore. That we are not from different segment, different sectors, or different country. We also belong from this place. Don't think we are outsiders. That is one pain we have here. That is the reason I do only about Coimbatore, and and very few recognize me as their own. They only think me as Sharma and as a North Indian. So that is one pain is always there, and that will always be there. But I cannot make them feel as my own. But that's how things are.
No, this place has welcomed me with very open arms, so I've not faced that issue. It's a very beautiful place.
No, I belong from this state only.
Yeah, correct.
I was brought up here, and everyone is brought up here. But we have to be all equal. That's what I'm saying. And I speak Tamil more fluently than Hindi, so I'm more of a Tamil speaking person, and I love speaking in Tamil because that is my that is one of the languages which I really love. And even when people who talk to me in English, I talk to them in Tamil only. So that's how things have changed, and it's good that you learn a lot of languages. So
Correct.
when I was in Bangalore, I also tried learning Kannada, but that was for a very less time I was there, so I couldn't learn Kannada. So that's how things are. Like we have to keep respecting and learning different languages as well. We have to learn different languages. What's wrong in that? I don't find any wrong. So it's always giving respect and taking respect. So yeah, it was good talking to you. It's been a long time now, I think. And if
Yes,
you
yes.
have any questions, you can please ask. And if you want to share anything in the last few minutes, you can please share. Please go ahead.
No, I've said more than that was required, probably. I really want to thank you for calling me into your show. It was really pleasure talking. For me, talking about mythology and, as I say, Krishna and Rama is always an enjoyable experience. Given any forum, given any number of people, be it one, be it 50, be it 100, I love to speak about it because they both are very important and they're a part of me. Rama and Krishna are both a part of me. I'm a part of them. That's how it goes for me. So thank you very much. I could really speak about them, and thank you again to your publishers, Mark-Fly, as well, and to the
Thank you so much.
Coimbatore Literary.
Yeah, Coimbatore Literary Award is now 4 years old now.
Yes, yes, yes.
So yesterday it completed 4 years, and Coimbatore Literary Awards, and Mark-Fly is almost like 5.5 years old now. So this coming February it will be completing 6 years. So on the sixth anniversary we'll be planning something bigger than before, like something whatever we'll be planning definitely from Mark-Fly. But right now we are releasing 2 more books. मुझे नहीं मिला कहीं award. Okay, you write some books and then we will give you an award. So yeah, that's what Mark-Fly, and it is good that we are connecting people, and hopefully that we will bring a lot of people and we'll gather it around with a lot of writers and cinema people. And yeah,
Yes,
that's
please.
it. If you want to ask any question to me, you can please go ahead, no problem.
No. Have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye guys, thank you so much for being connected. Akshay Biopic. Thank you very much for your pleasant conversation. Thank you so much. I can play some music for you all. This is just to wind up. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.